But we're certainly not getting sick of this game. Direwolves have a shot here, but Kafe is not a map that we know a lot from either of these teams. They don't play it very much, and so there's a real dark horse element here.
Bit of an unknown for us here on the broadcast, at least. We're not sure what the outcome is. We don't know what the expectations for Direwolves as well. This is their map pick though, so it is very important that they keep this map alive for them to stay in this series. So Kafe, we go. Let's see what you have to show for us, Direwolves.
And TALON, of course, for a shot at the major, just one map away. And what an exciting prospect for this team who's never even made a playoffs. This team who has been mid-pack forever. And finally, they're hanging with the big kids, and they, well, I mean, they're going to ban out Ying again. So Direwolves, somewhat limited in their ability to really cause chaos.
Yeah, Direwolves, Ying banned out for them. I'm not too sure how good or bad that is.
Is that why we saw the blitz? Like, would they have
maybe
blitz?
Oh no, maybe that's us
instead?
overthinking. I feel like that is us definitely overthinking it there, Dev. But yeah, Ying being banned out, that does take some of the chaos away from this game. That should have followed, so that's something that we can expect here on Kafe. Waiting for a third ban to come out now from the Direwolves. Direwolves also starting out on their attack as well. So their attack, something that we saw struggle with in the previous game was that roam clear, right? So if we do see Talon go to the basement side or even to reading, we'll have to see that roam clear be a little bit more proficient from the Direwolves as well. So hopefully we can see some attacks go on the board for them. Well, mine now being taken out as well, so lowering the power of that pixel shield position as well. It'll be much more difficult to play that with only ADSs and Aruna Gates at your disposal. So the ban phase playing out just sort of what we expect. Mira also taken out later as well.
If there's anything that I feel like is missing from the ban phase, it's the cheeky Mozzie ban from Direwolves. Because Direwolves have been struggling with their drones, and Demic's been going off, so just get that out of there. Just ban out the Mozzie, but no, not to be. We'll see whether, I mean, he's not playing Mozzie right now, is he? But he is on the mute. We talked extensively about the drone work on map 1 and how Talon had such good pre-placed drones and was so good at hunting Direwolves pre-placed drones. Kafe's quite a hard map to get good pre-placed drones in because it's 3 floors and your drones always spawn outside the building on the ground floor. So as long as the attackers watch the 3 staircases at the start of the round in the prep phase, they can actually deny your drones even getting in the building.
Yeah, Kafe is not such an accessible map in terms of drones, so pre-place is not something that we normally see for the entry. Maybe they'll just be there to save their drones instead. So Talon now electing to start on this top floor, looking for a setup over in Pixel with half of the wall open and half of the freezer wall open as well. So being supported by the Aruna Gates and the ADSs as well. So something pretty standard here on this top floor, nothing too special coming out from Talon. Direwolves, we'll see what they have to answer for it. No repicks coming out, using the Hibana as their only hard breach, but also the Floras as well. So hopefully these shields, they will be dealt with, although I think there was just a mute jammer placed on their one in Pixel, so they have to be a little more careful dealing with that.
There you go, another great usage of the mute, not just again of drones, but also the Rotero's drones. Just a single shield though, none in Pixel, just one in washrooms. The second shield does indeed come out in backstore. And lines aside, of course, to play. This one is vulnerable to grenades from below, of which there are 4 potential candidates on Direwolves. Now, it looks like it is a pretty staple Kafe west side across piano take.
I must say the backstore breach kind of does look like a very shocked face. I'm sorry.
Does it?
A bit of a side note. Oh dear. Oh gosh, the things that we see in Rainbow Six Siege. Direwolves now having to attack the top floor already early on those repels. Both of the hatches open. That's the classic standard start for Kafe. Now also on the roof, actually trying to clear this backstore shield first. A nade goes in from ED. Is it successful? Yes, it is actually. No more shield. Oh, wait, did it get moved?
I don't see the destroyed
Oh, yes,
rubble.
there we go. So the smoke has a shield in his pocket. So
Oh!
Very nice.
That is cheeky.
And that's instead of 1 nade as well gone from ED. So 1 less thing to clear out these shields. And oh no! Oh no, Jackie to find 2 actually onto the pillar's position. Oh gosh, what are we doing, Talon?
Canos, wake up, Jeff. What's going on? He's just standing there, letting his teammate die. Not even going for the refrag. Something happened there. And that's such a big advantage for Direwolves, isn't it? 2 picks.
Oh, and a nade being tossed in for Soldier as well. He will answer, but yes, it doesn't quite connect to find the kill. So Direwolves are up now. Man deficit for Talon. We'll see what kind of execute they can amount. They have lots of space in this top floor at their disposal.
I can't get over the shocked face.
Yeah, me too.
It's the exact face that Xenox had this morning when he woke up.
That's so funny.
But Direwolves can't let themselves be too distracted. They have the advantage, and they need to commit here. Great usage of the Hibana X-Kairos to eliminate that cocktail position. Talon are falling like flies. That C4 finds nothing for Demic. It's just him and Hetty to hold on now, and Hetty's going to start burning the gas babes. 30 seconds to go. Sees the Gemini run into sight. Worried it may have actually been a Yana player, and he wasn't able to shoot it. Only risk here for Direwolves is that time is ticking away, and, well, you don't want to count out Demic ever. He's finally taken down Hetty, cornered off into Freezer, and that nade is going to make his day very, very uncomfortable. Souffle to find the killing blow, and Direwolves a very strong start on Kafe, bouncing back from map 1.
Oh, what a strange round to begin out on Kafe. Here we are distracted by the breach. Meanwhile, Jackie Wu manages to drop the red hatch and finds two completely unknowing Talon players sitting around the exit door. And here we go, here on the replay. Maybe looking for a run out, maybe anticipating someone's on the rappel. But Canos, what are you doing? You're not helping your teammate out here. So, yeah, Hetty also stuck, oh dear, in a world of pain. Grenade at him.
It's the most awkward round ever.
What an awkward round. Even watching that shield, we were confused where it had gone. Maybe Edie had it, but actually it was in the pocket of the smoke. Oh gosh, this round really had us bamboozled there, but Direwolves eventually able to take it out quite cleanly in the end, so well played from them. They'll now elect to go down into Kitchen instead, so yes, should be another primary site for them, putting an extension over into VIP as well.
I say Talon are so committed to the cause when it comes to clearing prep face drones.
Oh, they
Just
really
then, we saw, who was it, Soldier, proning at the drone hole on the south side of Kitchen, right here at the flour bags. I think it's flour or rice in there.
Rice, I think.
Is it rice?
Is it rice or flour?
I don't know.
Sure.
Do they eat a lot of rice in Russia? It's a Russian map.
That's true. Maybe it is flour.
I would have thought it'd be flour.
Maybe it is flour.
But nonetheless, I don't think that's quite important to the point.
I think that's in a Malaysian in me wanting to believe that they're rice packs. But
I know. I'm a big rice fan personally. I do like my rice. So I do wish it was rice as well.
So Talon, they're actually doing two extensions here. They've got both shields up. One is in VIP and another is inside Bakery. So they're extended quite heavily across the horizontal part of this ground floor. So not committing much to the roam. So Direwolves, they will have most of the map at their disposal. It just depends on how quickly they can figure that out.
Was that Canos going for a cheeky roam though, I think? Oh no,
he's
back downstairs, my bad.
No,
so yeah, absolutely right then. Direwolves have the map for free, they just have to actually clear it. And droning hasn't necessarily been their specialty. But that said, Peak is already in the building, got the ARX, ED's here as well, and it's just a matter of time, right? Like there's no util, no contest whatsoever from Talon. It's just about how fast Direwolves can confirm that information by droning out the map.
Direwolves taking a bit of time now into the mid-round, starting to make some vertical lines to choke out some of those power positions in the bomb sites. Hetty, though, he does have a C4 on the mute cell. They'll have to be careful for him, playing the C4 to try and deny some of this vertical control.
Time to breach open the hatch. Hibana can do that just nicely. Time to open some floor. Sledge. There he is. ED is going to try and work this vertical game as much as possible. All the while, keep an eye on the timer at the top of your screen, because Soldier has two Yokais up and available to deny plant in the late round. Oh, was that tossed out?
I think that was tossed out.
Eddie doesn't have it in pocket any longer.
Direwolves now starting to put some pressure onto the garage side of the map as well, but they are faced by a shield to contest them with two ADSs as well, and Demic with a bunch load of gas babes in his hand. So they will be contesting the back actually completely, also pushing down the brown stairs. They're also just taking out Demic with all of his smoke babes in his hand too, so well done from the Direwolves, but only 40 seconds left to go.
That's a huge time burn eliminated, so a big win for Direwolves there. There's another time burn though, the Yokai's Canos. Wait a second, he's managed to sneak past the air jabs and get upstairs. And while Harambe has made this man advantage a 5v3, Direwolves have to worry about the player on for the flank. This is perfect for Direwolves unless the flank is there, but it just ain't. It's just not there, and neither is Soldier. It ends up being a flawless round for the Direwolves as they find the final player and start that diffuser. A very, very strong start here on their map pick.
Direwolves essentially given the entire Kafe at their disposal for free. No roam congestion, a lot of the utility spread thin across the ground floor instead, and the defenders, they just didn't seem to be keyed into what Direwolves were doing. They started to push down the white stairs, they started to push down the brown stairs, but only one defender there to contest them, and that was Demic with his shield, right? So Direwolves essentially able to take those 2v1s or into the anchor position slowly, eventually able to win out the rounds, and yeah, just well played from the Direwolves. Talon, they just don't seem to be keyed into the same idea.
Kafe is not a very popular map these days. It was only played once in APAC North and once in APAC South. In North, I mean, can you really use percentage stats when you've only got like 8 rounds and then 9 rounds to really go off? I don't know if you can. But overall, 60-ish% defense win rate. So you'd think that, and I think that goes just incongruent with what we would generally think about Kafe, right? Slightly defender-sided. Not crazy, but slightly. And we're not seeing that reflected here, are we?
Yeah, I feel like Kafe has really gone out of fashion, particularly with the meta changing in the last year. So recently we saw a lot of shield play. That was the big deal in the last year, right? So maps like Kafe, like Oregon, those were really popular because that's where you can post up in a power position with a shield and you can sit there with ADSs for years and years and years, right? Now we see a much more flexible kind of defensive meta, right? So maps like Kafe, where it's step by step, it's just not as exciting anymore, right? It doesn't play into the meta as well. So it's gone out of fashion, especially here in APAC, and now, but nothing's really changed, to be honest, on the attack. It's still very much step by step, coming down from the roof down to the top floor and so and so. So it's, yeah, nothing's really changed so far. Direwolves repeating the same motion again, opening the hatches up on the top floor, just being careful of any C4s or people cheekily jumping out of windows and taking their time to clear through the top floor.
And the IQ is a huge boon on these attacks because Souffle can not only spot, but actually ping for his team any utility to worry about. The Electric Claws, the Banshees, the Valkyrie cameras, not to mention, and particularly also the ADSs. When it comes to clearing out power positions, you want to know where those ADSs are. And this is a bit strange from Talon, I admit. They don't have quite as much a heavy investment on the top floor as you might expect for a reading defense. And that's going to allow Direwolves a lot of control.
The thing about reading, this is my favorite bomb site on this map, and the reason why is, oh wow, and the reason why is because this map plays out, this particular bomb site plays out quite unique compared to the other bomb sites. This one, because the entire bomb site is able to be killed from vertical, right? The defenders, they have to move into positions adjacent to the site. So this bomb site puts a much stronger emphasis on retake, and it kind of goes in the same with the top floor. You have to be able to retake the top floor if you want to win out the round when the plant goes down, right? So I think this top floor we're not seeing as in fashion anymore. We'll see players find other positions to stand in instead, and Direwolves, they're starting to make work here through long bar, opening the lines of sight that they need so they can get ED into that cocktail and start playing the vertical into reading. So that's another Valkyrie camera being taken down, ED leading the charge.
Worried though about C4s, one rings out but no info thanks to the Valkyrie's camera being taken down. But Valk is keen for a C4 Soldier and also for a flank is Malusi down on the very ground floor at the bottom. But the attackers have now fully submerged themselves in this top floor and are figuring out what the execute play is going to be. But there's still 5 defenders alive that they've got to find and isolate to get this diffuser down.
Yeah, 30 seconds left, and like we can see all the defenders, they have to move off the site now with this vertical gameplay. We saw in the top down a few seconds ago, thank you very much. But yeah, now the plant is starting to go down. It hasn't been contested. The retake has to be on here for Talon, and a beautiful...
And a C4!
Oh, yes, amazing from Talon. Here we go. The retake is on for Talon.
5v3 now. But Direwolves have that diffuser planted. Jackie Woo's got to land the shot. Is he ready for the second player? Spots him, but Soldier, another beautiful shot, is now on ED and Souffle. The retake is well and truly on. Demic on for the flank, while Canos sticks this diffuser, but he is gone. Direwolves have just made 3 attacking rounds in a row.
Wow, that was so well played from the Direwolves, sweeping through the top floor, not letting that retake get some. Jackie Wu, he was in the most prime position there on the white stairs, 2 defenders coming at him, but he managed to stall out enough time. ED able to close out the round. But like I said, I just love watching this bomb site. This is the most dynamic bomb site for sure on Kafe. I love watching these retakes. The defenders, like we saw, they had to move off the site completely, but they were prepared to do those flanks. They were prepared to come at the white stairs as he's looking for flank up the red as well. So not bad, not too bad from Talon. They had the right concept, but ED, he's just too sharp, and Jackie Wu is just in the exact right position to deal with that.
Yeah, really good read in the post plant from Direwolves. It is certainly not easy to try and prevent those retakes when you're 2 players down, but Direwolves have been vigilant and unrelenting on these attacks. 3 rounds in a row, and Talon really feeling that pressure at the moment. The best they can do is a 3-3 half, and I certainly don't expect that to happen. We are fortunately seeing some minor adaptations from the mute jammers on these hard breachable walls. We've seen Direwolves, particularly Harambe, using the X-Kairos, the Hibana, to phenomenal effect, opening up lines of sight onto power positions and exposing them and forcing players away. That's a great asset that Direwolves have had in their arsenal, and now Talon is trying to counter it.
To double down on your point about Harambe being on Hibana, right? These mute jammers, they aren't as effective because we have Hibana. The Hibana is able to deal with that by putting the Hibana charges above the radius as well. So Harambe isn't actually a play that we talk about a lot on the Direwolves, I feel like. The addition of him, except when he's dancing. The addition of him into the team has brought on a lot of flexibility, I feel, in the power of their attacks because they have that extra supportive role which they didn't have before. So he's done an amazing job so far on the Hibana, and yeah, I'm really impressed. Talon, they don't really have an answer for this yet. Direwolves, they're just so proficient on this map.
Also, Direwolves only just lost their first drone, which is quite a distinction compared to the first map, isn't it? Keeping those drones alive, droning out information, and always looking in control. Canos is doing Canos things. This is so typical. He gets one and falls back. That's a big kill. Jackie Wu is the top fragger for his team right now, tied with ED, and he's got so much utility on the Yana that's now, well, down the drain.
Again, trying to clear these power positions from the roof with a set of grenades. I don't think anything will come of it though. Yep, the grenade lands into C2, but is unable to find the kill. Picard now trying to follow up with a Flores drone, and now we have to replace Jackie Wu on the red stairs. Souffle now making his entry into Cigar.
What can he find? As Rotero is once again going out into bar and clearing some of these power positions, destroying the bar that many defenders like to hide behind, just making Talon uncomfortable. But the thing is, Talon do have a man advantage. Believe one of the first rounds they've had that man advantage, and they further it, taking down Harambe as well. That's no more hard breach. Talon have just sprung to life. And because of it, ED's decided, I've got to make a play. I have absolutely no choice. But does he check the corner? Demic hears him, but ED gets the better. It's traded immediately. Pika now in a 1v4. He might have the sight, but I don't think he's got any hope. And Hetty can get the first round on the board here on Kafe for Talon.
He walked past the chatty face on the bridge again.
Once again?
They did it again.
What's the point of that?
I assume it's for C4s, right? Or like things that you can like throw through, because you have a line of sight and then 2 C4 holes or something like that, right? Or like something that you can throw things through, I assume. Like,
I respect that.
I don't know. Or they're just trying to give us a good show on the ball. But yeah, Talon, they're able to bring a defense onto the board. So excellent play from Canos, able to find out that first pick and doubling down on another pick as well, forcing Direwolves to go for a Hail Mary play through the long bar. But yeah, well played from Talon, able to hold on to all their anchor positions and win out the rounds. Now they rotate back down to attempt the reading bomb site once again. Last time they lost out to a very, very close post-plant situation, so we'll see if they can try and replicate some of the success of that previous round and make that retake a little bit quicker.
What I expect here is Direwolves to re-pick onto the IQ, because that was so instrumental on the previous reading attack. That is, if Direwolves can be aware that the bomb site is in fact reading, because they definitely want different operators for different bomb sites. As we've seen, the repicks do come out. Oh no. What is that from Pika? What is that? What is that? Some silly business about to be conducted in the server? I'm sensing some serious shenanigans.
I am also sensing some serious shenanigans. Oh, that's a
Try and say that 10 times
difficult
fast.
phrase to say. We're out on board with Pecan. We'll see what he can do with this Amaru. This is very unusual. Oh, will he use it to jump into the window?
Just do it. Come on.
Just do it. Oh, no, don't get on a drone, you silly goose. Show us something on the stream.
You tell him. I'm sure that we will check in later on with Pika as he decides to make his move with the Amaru. But for now, status quo about to be broken by Direwolves. If they can come away with 4 rounds of attack on Kafe. It all starts with this top floor clear.
Top floor clear, working out a little slower here for the Direwolves. They're actually posted up around on the rappels on the south side of the building. Maybe they're looking for a direct attack into dining instead.
Oh,
yes, pushing up the white stairs. Here we go.
And Souffle finds one. ED gets taken down by Soldier. Harambe on this window, and in goes Pika. Hello, Amaru. Upstairs, but sensed by the Banshee, and his position exposed. Canos is good for it. A massive risk taken by Direwolves. A huge gamble, a Hail Mary, and it does not pay. The house always wins, and defending the house right now is Talon, holding on. Minute and a half, a 2v4 for Direwolves.
Yeah, whole minute and a half left to go for the Direwolves, but I feel like this is nigh impossible for them. Souffle trying to make a play up the white stairs to retrieve that diffuser, but the site being well and truly watched by Talon now. Harambe trying to give him an in with some flashbangs, propelling into the white stairs, but he's about to be met his match. Oh no, Heady prone on the top of the white stairs will find him, and Souffle all on his lonesome down on the ground floor.
Would this be a 3-3 half for Talon?
Possible.
It's looking to be a 2-3 half at least. A 1v4 for Souffle is tough. Souffle's had a lot of hype behind him in the past. He was always pretty much the hard carrier of this team back in the day. See what he can achieve. Oh, he was caught in 4K. That's no good. Well, he is going to have to 4K to win this round. I don't think that's possible. Even with 44 seconds left, he doesn't get one. There you go. Talon have their second defensive round. They got back on the horse after a very, very rough start. Going 3-3 here would turn their fortunes around. Remember, Talon win this map. They go to the 6 major for the very first time. And after a flawless stage for Direwolves, a perfect 21-point season, they certainly don't want to go down in 2 maps.
Direwolves struggling now to get back on the horse in this game. I feel like that last round was just quite a risky attack. It's something unique. We don't normally see something like that. I suppose they were banking on Talon not expecting them to do that, but they were well and truly keyed into the push that they were trying to do. The Amaru ended up not being fruitful through the top floor as well. So now Talon, they're able to rotate back down to the kitchen bomb site to reattempt. Last time they weren't successful in doing this. We'll see if they can correct their mistakes. Actually, they're changing their approach as well with the Mute and Mozzie and Valkyrie, so maybe we'll see an extended roam come out from here. Also, the freezer walls are just being reinforced as well, so not trying to post up on the back side of this time, so different approach from Talon. I want to see if this works out for them.
Yeah, very different approach. Previously, Talon just forfeited the entire map control, and instead they played Smoke in VIP. Remember, Demic didn't get a single kill there. He had 3 gas babes, and he lost his life, his position, and all his utility without anything for it. Direwolves, let's see how they adapt. Talon has presented them a new challenge. We are going to contest you on the roam. However, our site setup is quite different. The question for me, will Direwolves address this head on? Oh, Canos, so close. Doesn't even manage to land a single shot despite his best efforts.
Talon now going for a very extended roam through all 3 floors of the site, leaving Heady on his lonesome on the site, I believe it is. Oh,
Canos also still has
there we go. He's got a friend now. He's got a friend.
Done my spawn peak. Now 30 seconds into the round, I'll put down my util.
But yeah, Direwolves, they will be faced with much more of a challenge this round to clear out this roam. Souffle now out on the west balcony, watching carefully for this jump out, and it's starting to drone through the top floor. Harambe also hopping on the rappels as well. The entry, I was going to say the entry, but that's the Gemini. Harambe actually finding the first pick off on the rappels as well. So well played so far from the Direwolves, taking it slow, starting to choke out these defenders. Oh, Pecan just losing out on the cutoff as well. We'll see if Souffle can refrag.
Doesn't look like it just yet, unless
oh dear,
some of these Talon players overextend they may well cut their losses and fall back. 1 for 1, they're happy to just call that a day. Canos is also taking out another drone. Still a lot of drones left for Direwolves, so I wouldn't sweat too much. They can also have Pika sit on those drones as flank watch. The real question here is, do Direwolves have what they need to actually execute this site? They're really going to be leaning into 2 things. 1, the vert.
There we go.
Which they've just found a pick. And 2, the hard breach. Harambe needs to start opening some avenues onto the bomb site.
Direwolves now, oh, Jackie
Oh
Wu
my
just
God,
looking for a horrible timing. Oh no, is this able to find a pick onto Jackie Wu? Terrible timing there with Gemini, trying to look for some early, late mid-round bakery control, but now the Direwolves, they have to start playing this vertical, like you said, Edie, getting some lines of sight open. Time to get some drones into the site, figure out what the best method of executing will be for the Direwolves.
Souffle marches on, finds bakery control. A drone ahead of him as well. But Aziz has already found quite a lot of damage taking down Jackie Wu. Is Harambe going to go for a breach? That's my question. Not sure if Hatch has been opened yet, but Garage fully solid. It sounds like, okay, Hatch open, that's an option in the late round. And now all of the ex-Kairos have been put onto this main bakery wall.
Oh, 25 seconds left to go, but Canos will find the pick onto Souffle. 2 versus 2, traded by Harambe, and Edie just makes a drop down into Freezer. 18 seconds left to go. Can they mount and execute here?
Looks like sight completely forfeited by Talon, and that gives Direwolves a chance, but also a choice. Do they go for the plan? ED bites off a bit more than he can chew, and now it's just Harambe left. Talon, they were down 0-3, and now they have tied up their first half. What a defensive comeback.
Really well played there from Talon. They adapted, they changed, they realized, okay, we gave Direwolves way too much respect, guys. Let's do roam instead, let's challenge them. And although they lost the first pick, they were able to trade it back. Pecan, unfortunately unsuccessful on the cutoff. And eventually Direwolves, in such a scramble from Aziz finding the pick in the mid-round as well, they couldn't figure out what they wanted to do for the late round quick enough. And eventually Talon, a great adaptation from them, countering the way that Direwolves play, putting them up to the test. And now Direwolves, they have to come onto the defense half and perform even better than they did on the attack.
Otherwise, we will go OT, and, well, I don't know if that's what Direwolves need right now. They're on the back foot, lost map 1. Villa was a really tough game. We knew that Kafe would be a bit of a dark horse. We knew that neither of these teams have played it that much, at least in Tier 1 competitions as of late. We didn't have a lot of confidence in what they would bring to the table, but Direwolves picked it. They had to pick it for a reason. We've seen some great attacks, but it doesn't account for much if you can't stay consistent, if you can't lock it in. And after a 3-0 lead, Direwolves, they found that advantage dissipate before their very eyes.
Direwolves now electing to start off on the top floor, bar and cocktail, also playing a pixel setup. Talon, we'll see how they approach the site. Are they going to approach this from a pretty standard take, sweep across the map, or will they do what we've seen a little bit more in APAC and do a cocktail rappel? We'll have to see what they come up with. So Talon now starting to get towards the building very slowly, jumping on those rappels, setting up the claymores, making sure they can't get run out on. But there's actually direct congestion all the way inside the cigar room. This is not something that we see every day. Souffle here on the Kaid, supported by his friend in cigar as well. So Talon, are you going to get caught out by this? Oh, Souffle. This is such a Souffle thing to do.
Very, very cheeky.
Here it
Goes
is.
for the jump out, finds one. Almost found 2 more, but thankfully Hetty managed to finish him off with the pistol. Oh, that was a bit stressful there. Souffle, fortunately, has got all his util out. Pika! Oh my god, you have some serious bravery.
Harambe, it's your
to try and make that. Yeah, all right, Harambe, batter up. Let's go. Out the window with you.
Oh dear, Direwolves looking for some pretty cheeky plays here, directly contesting into Piano. Harambe will be replacing Souffle though, and Talon, they are up on the numbers advantage. It's time for them to not throw away their lives. We see Aziz now starting to get the wall open into the minibar breach, so they will be taking their time here, starting to choke out poor Harambe, left on his lonesome, having to make a play.
Already 2 players have lost their lives jumping out this piano window. Harambe, the last one in there. The 3v4. Direwolves now likely feel like they do have to make a play in the disadvantage. Kanos downstairs might even have an opportunity to nade through the floor, hoping that the player would try and escape through the hatch. Harambe could one-punch it and drop up through that hatch. Kanos would be watching, and Harambe finds 1 kill. Even scoreline now. Who will come out of this exchange with the advantage?
Talon, they're going to have to be a little bit more careful than that if they want to contest Harambe, and I think it's Jackie Wu as well in Cigar to support him. Dropping this red hatch is going to be tricky with this crossfire, but Hedy does find the pick. Can Jackie Wu trade in his position?
Jackie Wu has 2 angles to watch, and he's got to decide which one does he commit to. Player downstairs and 2 at top. Red!
Oh,
good for 1, but not for the second. That leaves ED in the 1 versus 2, and he pushes up aggressive. The flashbang and the follow through now. 2 players peeking the same doorway. ED, it's a 1v1. Kanos, he's got to land the shot, but the Bailiff can seal the deal. ED had to win that clutch to get the advantage back for his team, and he delivered.
Talon, they're fumbling a little bit with Harambe and Jackie Wu inside Cigar as well. So Direwolves, they went for some very brave plays, flying themselves out of windows, throwing themselves at Talon, really throwing their lives at them. But Talon taking a little bit too much time. Yeah, me too. I just can't believe. But you know what? The Bailiff is there to back him up. So
well,
it's all right.
I looked at the HP after that spray, and it was like, yeah, like 60 HP still. I couldn't believe that. He's lucky that the Bailiff won that for him. That Bailiff is not something you want to rely on.
Oh, wow. That was such a Direwolves round, to be honest. Watching them fly out of the windows, that is just what we come to expect out of our teams from APAC South. But yeah, Talon fumbling around a little bit in that mid-round meant that Direwolves could recompose into some very precarious positions and eventually able to find that round. So not bad from the Direwolves. It's good to see them get back into this game after losing 3 rounds in a row as well. Now going on to the reading and fireplace, we've established this is our favorite bomb site now. I'm excited to see whether Talon will approach this in the same way.
Does look like a pretty decent investment upstairs. The castle's not something we see every day. It looks like compared to how Talon defended this site, Direwolves are pushing their defense further towards the west. They've got pixel presence. And they're just going to delay more time in doing that. It doesn't give Talon as much free ground as Direwolves were afforded on their attacks.
And that pixel presence is also supported by a castle barricade on that white hallway where the defenders will repel to try and cut off the roamers rotating back down to the site as well. So like you said, Direwolves putting a lot more presence up on that top floor, trying to hold it for as long as possible. Now Talon, if they look for a different type of execute maybe, we can see Kanos loitering at the bottom of white stairs, maybe Soldier there as well. We'll see if they can approach this particular defense and not have to brute force their way into all these shields and reinforcements and long lines of sight that Direwolves have set up for them.
It's a fairly quiet attack so far for Talon, 50 seconds in. 2 players on the roof, 3 players now. Droning out. How do you get up there? He's on the vent. Can you just vault onto that?
I don't know.
That's pretty cool. I've ever seen that before, to be honest. Maybe you have to vault on the little other surface too. Oh my god.
Oh no.
You might have some good parkour skills, but it really doesn't matter when Souffle is looking for your head.
Souffle.
And when he finds a double, when he can get the down on the 3rd, he loses
gosh.
his life, but I mean, that is absolutely worth it.
That was monumental there from Souffle, now down a serious player deficit and also down both sets of your grenades actually. So those shields, they'll be staying up for a pretty long time.
Also, Soldier got revived, but he's low HP, and the Thinker's dead. So he's not going to get buffed up, not going to get any of that health back.
Oh, I think I lied. The Rotero drone's coming in. Whoops.
There you go. So, and that's something to clear some util, but there's still a lot ahead of Talon with not a lot of time to go.
Talon now looking to change their approach. Instead of clearing out the top floor, they've elected to go into mining and train instead. Start to drown at the bomb site and see if they can head the diffuser in without the Direwolves players watching. Now, Aziz starting to get into that reading 90 corridor. Maybe he can get the wall open with his Hibana pellets. Not sure, but they're going to have to find other avenues into the site.
Long line of sight held by Harambe. Pika goes down though. 3v3. An even man count now for these 2 teams as Hedy does try and lurk on the top floor. In fact, Talon actually switched their attack again. Rotating upstairs with some presence downstairs, trying to find these last Direwolves players. going for an execute here would be a little bit scary. We may well see a retake scenario. Direwolves, they wait patiently. Talon have no time for this execute. They have to commit, and they have to go now. Aziz is the one with the diffuser, and Hetty's got back onto a Rotero drone. You don't have time for this, man. The flash is good, but no, it doesn't land right, and Harambe survives. There is surely no shot here for Talon, but they do make it a 1v2. And as Hetty tries to get this diffuser planted, he will fake it because there's no shot for the round. Direwolves come away with the defense.
A big hero play coming out from Souffle right at the beginning of the round to head that round for the Direwolves. Talon, they couldn't recollect the pieces. Not enough options there for them to get back into the game. Eventually having to flood through the top floor, flip-flopping on the decision-making even. They just couldn't quite decide on what to do. Direwolves able to capitalize on the lack of time and eventually able to win out that round. So Talon taking their tactical timeout now, trying to recompose.
What do they need to do to find some traction on these attacks? Because they haven't, as of yet, won a single one. That's let Direwolves run away at 3-3. Has slipped to a 5-3. Direwolves are just 2 rounds from pushing to map number 3 now. Talon, after all their hard work, bringing back from the 0-3 deficit, they're now about to find them in just as much a deficit once again. They need to really get themselves working on these attack rounds.
I'm going to put a little bit of a counterpoint here and say this is Direwolves map, right? Direwolves, they're looking okay. They're starting to get back into this game again. They lost 3 rounds in a row. Now Talon take their tactical timeout. But I hope that Direwolves, they can give us a better showing than this. These rounds, they're still kind of close.
Oh, yeah.
Talon have definitely been taking it to them. It's not quite as dominant. They don't look as confident on Kafe as Talon did on Villa, is the point that I'm trying to make here, for example. So I hope that Direwolves, even though that tactical timeout has come out, they don't lose their composure. They are up 2 rounds. Can we see them close out their map and so that we can go to the decider and keep their dream alive of going to the major?
I definitely have less faith in Direwolves on this map than I did in Talon on map 1. It's just the way that Direwolves are relying on these aggressive plays. You think 2 rounds ago it was 2 piano window jump outs, which ended up leaving them at a net negative. You think about how it ended up in a clutch from EED to have to win that round. Think about last round, it was that really early insane 2K from Souffle. Yeah, that put Talon immediately on the back foot and essentially won Direwolves the round. Direwolves can't always rely on just making these hero plays and winning rounds based on them.
Direwolves now going down to the kitchen bomb site. Jackie Wu looking for an early roam, but essentially falling back off into the middle floor. Talon, they're looking for a full map control type of sweep here, starting out on the top floor and working their way down, trying to get Demic into that second floor to start playing the vertical.
Well, Talon, after their tactical pause, what have they got to show? Going for a full map clear, but need to be extra careful because they know all too well the Direwolves will be looking to play aggressive, take the fight to them, going for early picks, forcing early engagements. It's often Souffle who finds himself doing that. He's now on that anchor operator on the Echo, so he's going to have a leash. He's going to be chained down to his anchor position, and instead it's players like Harambe who will step into his aggressive shoes. Canos goes down, a big player to take out with a lot of utility, and also now Harambe getting back to site safely.
That roam proving to work out quite well for the Direwolves, although they have fallen back to the site and the sledge is still on the board. So the mid round is still somewhat in control for Talon. They can get some of those vertical lines open. And as this, of course, also still alive with the Hibana, leaves them some options on either breach here. So it's not over yet for Talon, but they'll have to collect the pieces through this mid round.
Yeah, and that starts the vertical game, doesn't it? That's what Demic's job is here, opening up these lines of sight to start exposing the anchor positions, to start enabling the attackers to destroy any utility on site, clear positions, move those defenders around, and then eventually there'll be a hammer to the anvil, start pushing these players into lines of sight and getting that man advantage.
I can't believe how long Pecan has survived there. He's standing right under a set of vertical, I think, inside the other bomb site as well. So about to be in a world of pain, I believe. Oh, but no one is watching it. He's okay.
Just in the middle of the site.
He's just chilling. Oh no, he's not under a set of vertical. Never mind. They can't actually see him from there. Now they seem to be looking for a freezer hatch drop. Demic now starting to come down the brown stairs, looking for a push into the back, but only 15 seconds left to go.
Oh, there's just no time, is there? And that means that Demic can't check all his corners, he can't drone everything out, and he can't watch all of the flanks that Talon will have to watch. Souffle here. He's easily going to deny that one, and just like that, Direwolves have match point. An incredibly strong round from them. They're marching towards map number 3.
Very excellent roam there from the Direwolves. They dedicated quite a lot of utility to it. Plenty of mute jammers, a couple reinforcements, and it proved to be quite fruitful for them. The Talon just not able to find anything there from that vertical play and getting a little indecisive on the execute as well, taking far too much time to drop that hatch. That echo being in play, you're never going to win out that late game. So Direwolves doing a good job not to throw away their lives there. They knew they had their late game advantage.
There were so many things going well for Direwolves in the late round. ED was flanking from VIP. You got the Yokais. There's so much depth to what Direwolves had available. The Talon would certainly struggle to get that diffuser planted. Now Talon have one last chance here to push for overtime. They will need 3 rounds in a row. They haven't won a single on their attack as of yet. And this is really where Direwolves are showing their caliber and why they picked this map. Statistically, we couldn't understand it. But now that we're in the server, it is clear that Direwolves know what they're doing on these defenses. They have the game plan to counter Talon. They're bringing that fiery aggression that we know them for. And they're ready to push on to map 3.
I think it's a big thing about these playoffs, right? When you play throughout the group stages, you don't want to show too much of your hand, because then by the time you get to the playoffs, there's going to be loads of VODs out there for you, for your opponents to watch and to pick to do some counterplay, right? So Direwolves, even though we didn't have a lot of confidence on them going into it, this is something they must have been hiding in the group stages for us. This is something they must have been practicing. So I'm feeling confident for them. They're doing well. They're getting themselves back into the game. Now reattempting the top floor. We'll see if they go out for this crazy flying out the windows kind of strat, or if it'll be more dialed back.
Well, it's not just jumping out windows that we've seen from Direwolves. It's now also these cheeky lines of sight. That's through a floor and then a wall. 2 different surfaces. Harambe's got this angle onto the lower red stairs, looking to punish any cheeky lurkers that Talon might have coming up from down below. But it looks like Talon will be going for predominantly a piano clear once again. West across. This is your default Kafe.
Pixel Shield still up for the Direwolves, but Flores is at the disposal of Talon, so we'll see where Hetty plays this from. 1 minute and 50 seconds left of the rounds. Talon still on the roof, no foots in the building yet. So yeah, we'll see what progress they can make. Only 1 minute 45 seconds left to go. Repels are only just being done. And yeah, Hetty, sorry, not Hetty, is that Harambe there? Harambe there on the alibi. Can he play this Pixel Shield well? I know that Alibi now, she did have a recoil nerf to her gun as well, so playing these long lines of sight is a little bit more tricky. With the Wamai banned out, I assume this has to be the 1.5x replacement.
That makes perfect sense. Got to say, those Prismas are also great for a position like this. And look, the MX4 Storm does pack a punch. This is a good gun. Recoil, notwithstanding. Now Harambe does fall back, his shield now destroyed, so great job from Talon. They've cleared that util, the time's ticking away, and there's still so many anchor positions that Direwolves can play. Here's ED in backstore, here's Harambe in washrooms. And Talon have to clear all of these positions if they want to have a shot at executing.
Oof, some cheeky little shots there from ED with the suppressed FMG9. Oh. And a Rotero drone coming in to try and clear his position, but won't amount to anything. Talon, they're taking so much time. 40 seconds left to go, only just getting the breach open. But Canos does find a pick onto one of those power positions that you were just talking about. 30 seconds left to go.
The Kairos as well from Talon will eliminate another power position. However, Harambe, he's snuck on inside, and he's in Pixel now. Found one. Position revealed. A 4v4. Direwolves looking to send us to map 3. And there is surely no chance for Talon now. The time is ticking away. And Hetty has absolutely no shot, no chance in the world. Direwolves are going to take us all the way to map 3 for a shot at the major. We're going to need to see this all the way.
good halves in all chat from the Direwolves. Harambe giving us a show again on the cameras. Oh my gosh, what a character he is. So funny. They're playing in Pixel to close out the round even with his picks. Direwolves, they played that map so well. They showed us why they took us to Kafe, and they proved all of us wrong. We set such low expectations for them, but yes, they came in and they just gave us a masterclass of how to play Kafe.